Hello guys, welcome to my channel Lucid Fanfic, and if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on our latest videos. So be sure to stick around until the end, and let's get started. Fugolian. Leopold screamed out in terror. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. His unbeatable brother, his big brother. Leopold let out a war cry before running toward Fugolian. Izuku looked at the scene in disbelief. He was defeated? Fugolian was incredibly strong, and they just... Noel's face paled. His arm. Noel then noticed his grimoire was still whole. If the grimoire's still whole, then... he's still alive. Noel knelt next to Fugolian. We have to stop the bleeding. If only Mimosa was here. Noel then noticed the corner of Fugolian's grimoire beginning to disappear. The grimoire's starting to disappear. Leopold, help me. Noel called out to Leopold, but Leopold made no response. He only stared at the almost lifeless body of Fugolian in disbelief. Suddenly raids appeared right in Leopold's face. Remember when you mouthed off to me a minute ago? Raids then launched Leopold flying into a wall with a magic blast. Leopold. Noel yelled out in worry. You were able to overcome adversity. What you lacked was a just heart. A just heart, huh? Raids said in a mocking tone. I always do just what my heart tells me to. Go yap your head off in the afterlife. Fugolian Vermilion. The spatial magic user raised his hand slightly. We've done what we came to do. Let's go, Raids. Before any other magic knights appear. Izuku staggered. He slowly began to stand and walk towards Raids. Your name was Izuku, right? Well, we'll finish you and make you into one of my toys real soon. Look forward to it. Then Raids felt something off from Izuku. Raids felt sinister mana coming off Izuku slowly. Izuku then vanished on Raid's eyes. Raid's eyes widened. Black whips surrounded one of Izuku's fingers, and Izuku appeared right behind Raids. Air Force, Black Shot. Izuku flicked his finger at 20%, the black whip launching from his finger wrapping around Raids' right arm. Izuku then pulled Raids towards him before delivering an immense punch right to his face and sent him flying to building. The punch launched Raids back with a satisfying crunch. Raids sat on the ground questioning what had just happened. He felt something drip down his face. Ow! What do you think you're doing, trash? Not good, the spatial magic user said as he raised his hand once again. Izuku didn't respond and walked to Raids slowly. Raids felt Izuku's sinister mana getting stronger. Stop! Raids yelled out. Izuku didn't listen to him and still walking towards him. Raids then stand up and rushed towards him. Raids dashed at Izuku and fired a magic blast straight at his chest. Izuku, instead of dodging it, took the hit directly and grabbed his wrist. Then Izuku spoke. I'm going to make sure that you will never hurt innocent people again, Izuku said. I'm going to be the guy who's going to show everyone a bright future. Whether that means becoming the Wizard King or the #1 hero, it doesn't matter to me. Because I'm going to save everyone. Then Izuku's sinister mana burst, and half of the Clover Kingdom felt the sinister mana. As everyone drops to their knees except for the Magic Knight captions who are barely trying to stand due to Izuku mana. What is this sinister mana? Is this coming from Izuku? Noel and Leopold thought scared. Raids for once looked at Izuku in fear. Then Raids notices a black mark on Izuku's forehead, and his eyes dark purple. Valtos, do something. Raids yelled out. If I could, I'd be doing it. The spatial magic user said with a slight scoff. These mana of his are stronger than him, and I can barely move. A spatial magic hole appeared in above of Valtos. It seems we'll have to take care of the boy first. Noel noticing he was storing up magic. She then noticed a spatial magic hole appeared behind Izuku. Is planning to attack through his spatial magic? Noel realized a little too late. Izuku, look out. A spiral of fire suddenly launched at Valtos, making Valtos dodge. What good does it do if get scared, and if I lose my cool? Stay calm at all times, right, Fugolian? Leopold said as he nervously scowled. Valtos gave a small sigh. What should I do? We can't afford to lose Raids yet. Raids scowled at Leopold. You little. How pitiful. Came a monotone voice. Izuku turned and found himself surrounded by several cloaked wizards. Their magic aura giving them a chilling presence except for Izuku. Leopold looked at them in shock. Reinforcements? 5 of them. We received a report from our master and came, but one of the cloaked wizards began. Against people like these 7 pitiful. Izuku groaned in pain. The curses were still affecting his body. His body was bleeding like crazy. he wouldn't be conscious much longer. A nervous smirk suddenly appeared on Raids' face. Looks like the tables just turned. Black whips suddenly erupted from Izuku's body. I may be barely able to move. The black whips covered the spots in which he was bleeding. The spots in which the curses were affecting him the most. This should be able to stop the bleeding, Izuku said with a serious look. On top of a building, Nero watched the scene with the same expression the bird always made. Izuku found himself completely surrounded. I'll take you all down, Izuku yelled out. Izuku then let go of Raid's wrist and punched him on his face, and he went flying through a building, knocking him out. Did the sight of our numbers drive him insane? One of the cloaked wizards asked. It doesn't matter. He's about to die anyway. They all launched a magic blast directly at Izuku. Then suddenly someone spoke on Izuku's mind. Hey kid, call out your grimoire and use my sacred treasure. Who are you? Izuku thought in surprise. You don't need to know who I'm now, just do as I tell you and say full counter. Izuku then listened to the mysterious voices. Izuku's grimoire appeared in thin air and opened to the third page, and the sword came out. The cloaked wizards and Leopold were shocked. They have seen a grimoire appeared in thin air. This sword is a sacred treasure? Izuku thought, then said, full counter. As Izuku deflected the magic back 5x speed due to the mark on Izuku's head and hit the cloaked wizards. The cloaked wizards were impressed. Your struggles are pointless, one the cloaked wizard said, trying to act tough. I eyed him. The one Master was talking about. Black whips erupted around Izuku wildly. I need to stay calm and calmly kick their butts. Izuku's arms hurt all over, and his eyes were starting to get blurry. He didn't know much longer he could keep this up because he was overusing his quirks. Several fireballs suddenly erupted and attacked the cloaked wizards. Flame magic. Exploding flames. Leopold glared at the cloaked wizards. You think I'm going to let you people throw your weight around after what you did to my brother? Let me join my rival. Sure, thanks. Izuku and Leopold went wild in attacking the enemy attacks. No attack could stop them. They say beasts are more formidable when wounded. These boys are dangerous. The cloaked wizards increased the power of their magic spells. You weren't our targets, but we'll finish you here and now. They fired off their magic blasts before a giant water barrier protected Izuku and Leopold from the attacks. Water creation magic. Sea Dragon's lair. Noel had protected them. Don't think you can hurt my friends so easily. Noel yelled out at them. Well, that's quite a nice barrier spell. One of the cloaked wizards yelled out. From your appearance, you're a member of the Royal Silva family? In that case, I'll oppose you with grimoire magic. I wouldn't want to be rude. Tree roots suddenly erupted from the ground and swallowed the water barrier. The creation tree, magic draining roots. Noel looked in shock as the tree roots had completely swallowed her magic. Izuku and Leopold launched themselves at the enemy wizard. Your instincts are admirable. Wind creation magic, tornado needles. Piercing wind needles shot out in an instant and stabbed Izuku and Leopold. It was so quick. They were only able to react after they felt the pain of their body being punctured. Izuku and Leopold both fell to the ground with a thud. Leopold fell to the ground with a thud, and Izuku was still standing up looking at him with his dark purple eyes. How is his mana still so powerful? I could feel it still when they cast a mana protection on all us. I need to finish him off and the kid next to him. Now then, let's finish them off, shall we? More wind needles formed before launching at Izuku and Leopold. Stop! Noel yelled out. Boom. Something had blocked the wind needles. It was a just ball of mercury. Noel instantly recognized this magic. How dare you send us all the way out there? Alekdora yelled out. Baltos looked at them in shock. Impossible. You covered that distance this quickly? We really didn't want to, but we worked together to get back. Call it compound magic, if you will. Alekdora said with a slight sigh. Sol gave a slight sigh. Well, I guess men aren't totally useless. Sol stated. I acknowledge their abilities, no more. Charlotte said with her eyes still closed. So this is where center of the sinister mana is coming from. Lucky we got used to it in 11 minutes. Charlotte thought. I'm never cooperating again. Solid said in disgust. We really don't play with others well, you know? Nebra said with a slight chuckle. Nozel stared at them with a cold stare. However, our 9 Magic Knight squads exist to protect the peace of the one Clover Kingdom. Nozel stated. Valtos jumped off the building. It'll cost us if we keep fighting. Let's retreat. A grimoire appeared in front of Nozel. What's the rush? Nozel asked with a cold tone. Several mercury rain-like ball formed in the air. Mercury magic, rain of silver. A grimoire appeared in front of one of the cloaked wizards. Gel magic, sticky salamander. A giant salamander made of goo erupted from the grimoire. Dark magic item, special properties alpha absorbed. The cloaked wizard injected the salamander with a giant need. The mercury attack was absorbed into the salamander. Nozel looked at it in confusion before noticing the needle. Is that a magic item? The salamander then stepped on Izuku, absorbing him into its body. Izuku! The magic knights yelled out in worry. Miline! The cloaked wizard said in glee. Remember this, magic knights. One of the other cloaked wizards began. We are the eye of the midnight sun, the ones who will destroy the Clover Kingdom. Spatial magic appeared beneath them before they all disappeared. In an instant they were gone alone with Izuku. Izuku, they took Izuku. We have to save him. Noelle yelled out. Noelle, I'm sorry we can't. Klaus interrupted. There's no way we can locate their destination. Yes, but... No. Nozel suddenly spoke up. Right now, our top priority is the capital's defenses. There's no guarantee that those were the only enemies. We don't have the time or magic to spend on someone like him. Noelle could only stare in response. She suddenly turned around and called for Mimosa. Mimosa, help Captain Fugolian. Mimosa immediately began healing Fugolian. Mimosa looked at Fugolian in shock. She couldn't believe Fugolian had lost. Someone like Fugolian ended up like this? She then noticed Leopold. Even Leopold. Izuku is gone, please be all right. She prayed to herself. With my magic, first aid is the best I can do. He needs to be taken to the medical ward for more advanced healing magic. Or else. What could have done this to a magic knight captain? Soul questioned. PFT. Solid suddenly called out. Some captain. That's just pathetic. The Vermilion clan sure ain't what it used to be. Makes me embarrassed to be a royal. Noelle looked at Solid in shock. How could you say that, Solid? We are magic knights. Nozel suddenly called out. Unless we win, our existence is pointless. Noelle wanted to refuse Nozel's statement. Noelle said, disappointment evident in her tone. He's right. Solid yelled out. This is gonna trash the reputation of the Crimson Lion Kings too. Before Solid could continue, however, Nozel turned and glared at him. However, Solid, as we were not even present at the fight, we are less than he is. Nozel said with a cold gaze. Strengthen the defenses so that the damage spreads no farther. He ordered. Solid looked at Nozel in confusion. All right, was his dignified response. He's right. Alekdora suddenly yelled out. They spread around magic that blocks transmission spells, and the chain of command is in chaos. Thanks to that, reinforcements from outside the noble realm failed to arrive. We can't let our guard down yet. Noelle's face was full of worry. Izuku. The cloaked wizards walked towards a hidden castle, hidden by a forest. Raids. We ended up with a huge headache because you stepped out of line. Don't get carried away just because the master has taken a liking to you. I want to fight a captain alone. You said. I want to lay waste to the capital. Conceited fool. The cloaked wizard scolded Raids. Simply achieving the objective wouldn't have taken half this much work. Shut up. Was Raids' comeback. My toys are what took damage. That's no skin off your noses. But it sounds like Catherine was defeated and is still out cold in the capital, the salamander wizard said. Like I care about that hag. Raids yelled out. We got what we went in for, so it's all good. By the way, Sally. One of the cloaked wizards said to the salamander wizard. We can't take that boy with us. Wanna live him? Huh. No way. Didn't you feel that sinister magic coming from him? Yes. And those whips, they were like magic, but there were not. So no way I'm going to finish him. This is a type of magic on a whole different level. I'm going to use him in my research. Izuku slowly groaned as he opened his green eyes. He slowly looked in his surroundings. Where am I? He questioned to himself. He was in some sort of gel bubble. He was levitating in the air inside it. Only those acknowledged by our master can go there. Don't cause unneeded trouble. Finish him before the meeting time. Izuku then got a clue of where he was. He had been captured, and he was surrounded. He had to think of a way to get out of this mess. Izuku looked at his hand and still had the sword on his hand. Yeah, let me finish him. I'm gonna make him into a toy. Raids, you be quiet. The cloaked wizard closest to Izuku looked up and noticed he was awake. Izuku prepared himself for an attack. The cloaked wizard took off his hood, revealing a she. A young woman with black hair and glasses. She had a curvy figure, but what got Izuku's attention were her eyes. He had seen those eyes. Her eyes were same as a certain blood-loving villain. "You're awake," she called out. "You asked them to. You want me to investigate every last inch of you and your grimoire and run all sorts of experiments on you, right? You want to be useful to my research, right? Right. Izuku could only back up as far as he could from. This girl, she was bad news. He was in super bad situation, and she was not making this any easier. "Come on, please. I'll ask too, so come on, please." The group had walked into the hidden castle and were walking down several stairs. "Give him to me," she begged. Suddenly, the group stopped. "Hi there. I've been waiting for you." Julius Navacrona, in other words the Wizard King, stood directly in front of the group. "What?" Everyone looked in shock. "How was the capital?" Julius asked with a not-so-sincere smile. The cloaked wizards were nervous and sweating like crazy. "Why here? Why is this man here?" The cloaked wizards grabbed out their grimoires and prepared to attack. "Die!" Suddenly Julius appeared in between two of the cloaked wizards. "He's fast." Two magic orbs formed in Julius's hands, and before the cloaked wizards could react, fired them. The cloaked wizards disappeared without a trace. "What? Impossible. Where did they go?" "I killed them," Julius stated rather calmly. "It would have been a bit too hard with numbers like these." "Restraining you, I mean," Julius said as he stared at them with a blank expression. Tree roots erupted towards Julius. Julius shot a magic beam through the roots and killed another cloaked wizard. Sally and Raids looked at the scene in shock. "What just happened?" Raids asked in shock. "You just came from attacking the capital, didn't you?" Julius gave them a cold stare. "You can't possibly have gone to kill without preparing to be killed, right?" Valtos was feeling nervous. "What power? So this is the Wizard King. This is bad. My magic is already drained." That said, Julius suddenly spoke up. "You seem pretty skilled. I'll probably have trouble here." He then gave them an innocent smile. "What do you say? I'll just let one of you live. Do you want to surrender? It's first come, first serve. What do you think? Don't sell us short." Sally and the last remaining cloaked wizard yelled out as their grimoire appeared before them. Sally began firing several gel projectiles, while the cloaked wizard fired off his super-fast wind needles. However, Julius dodged it all with ease. In fact, he was moving so fast, it looked as though there were multiple Juliuses. "How is he moving like that? My eyes can't keep up." "I guess there's no helping it," Julius spoke up. "I might be able to handle numbers like these." Suddenly, white magic enveloped the wizards as a ball of magic trapped them. Time-binding magic, chronostasis. "What the heck is this? I can't move." "Nice, I got all of you. Were you more worn out than I thought?" Julius said with a slight smile. "See how it feels to live in one unending moment." Izuku watched this entire scene unfold in bewilderment. Julius has beaten all those opponents that Izuku had lost to quite easily. The gel bubbles suddenly popped, letting Deku fall onto the ground. "Oh, hello, Izuku. We seem to be linked by fate somehow." Izuku felt uneasy around this man, but he knew this man Julius was someone on his side. "This is only a small fraction of what you'll have to surpass," Julius said with a slight smirk. "Need a hand?" Julius extended his hand to Izuku. For whatever reason, Izuku felt like he had to stand up by himself. This was the Wizard King, the strongest magic knight, a man who was looked up to by many. He felt like he shouldn't show any weakness around him. Izuku slowly pushed himself up. It took all of his strength to just stand. Izuku's body wobbled back and forth, but he was able to stand up. Julius gave a small smirk at Izuku. "I guess you didn't need help?" Julius then turned to the capture wizards. "You four had some pretty interesting magic. I was surprised. Now then, there are some things I want to ask you." Julius then pointed his hand at a giant stone that was behind him. The stone had several unknown runes marked on it, along with 4 jewels inside the runes. "What are these jewels on this stone slab? I've never seen the characters or the pattern before. What were you trying to do with it?" Julius asked with his cold smile. "Well, even if I ask you now, you can't do a thing inside that spell. We'll have this talk later." At leisure, in the Clover Kingdom, Julius suddenly turned around. He felt a sudden intrusion of mana. Something's coming. Bright light shined in the room, bright enough that it blinded everyone. Julius was barely to make a figure out. The figure raised his hand before magic erupted from him. Izuku had to shield his eyes from the light, and with the speed the light appeared, the light suddenly disappeared. They were gone. The enemy wizards. He got us. He's taken his companions away. Light magic faster than mine must have been the enemy boss. He seems interesting, I mean tough. But the last cloaked wizard hadn't been taken. We managed to keep one. Izuku looked on in almost a daze. Why didn't the boss take all of them? Did he deem this specific cloaked wizard unnecessary? Suddenly an image of a young wizard appeared in front of Julius. I finally got through. Where are you, Wizard King? Hello there, Marks. Sorry about that. Things got a bit busy and I blocked the communication spell. Julius answered. But you're always doing that. Something really awful happened here. The capital was attacked, correct? Huh. And you repelled them safely, correct? Huh. Yes, but never mind that. Just come to the medical ward. Marks yelled out in worry. Julius had a worried expression on his face. In the capital, several medical wizards surrounded Fugolian as they healed him. We've strengthened the magic barrier. We should be all right now. Fugolian Leo Mimosa prayed out in worry. Alec-Dora felt it a powerful and familiar magic approaching. This magic it's. Suddenly Julius landed right behind everyone. The captured wizard still captured, and Izuku was being carried like a toddler. Yo, good work, everyone, Julius said with a smile. The Wizard King. They then noticed the captured cloaked wizard. And an enemy? Then everyone noticed Izuku being carried like a toddler in Julius's hands. And Izuku? Hey guys, how's it going? Was Izuku's dignified introduction. You're okay? They questioned. The Wizard King saved me, man. I thought I was a goner for sure. Izuku said as he sheepishly rubbed the back of his head. You're always reckless. That's why it happened. Noel scolded Izuku. Did that teach you anything, Broccoli Head? Noel silently sighed in relief. Izuku, Klaus yelled out. I'm so glad you came back alive. Klaus said as he wiped a tear out of his eye. I was sure you were dead, I'm so glad. Izuku smiled at Klaus. Klaus in a lot of ways reminded Izuku of Ida, a strict person, but a very kind and good person. Yeah, sorry for making you worry. Izuku gave his biggest smile at Klaus. Izuku, came the worried cry of Mimosa as she trampled Klaus out of the way, before giving the closest hug Izuku had ever gotten in the Clover Kingdom. His mom was still champion of the closest and tightest hugs. I was really worried, Mimosa said with tears in her eyes. Too close, Izuku blushed thought as he couldn't move. Nero suddenly swooped in and began pecking his head repeatedly. I see, Julius said with a sigh. One strong as Fugolian, and they don't even know when he'll wake up. I'm afraid I miscalculated there. No, it was due to our inexperience. Charlotte spoke up. Wizard King, we confirmed that the pendant Fugolian war seems to be gone. Who on earth are they? Julius frowned. From what? They say. They seem to be a terrorist group with a grudge against the kingdom, but things look a bit more complicated than that. Julius began to think to himself. The jewels embedded in that slab was Fugolian's pendant on one of those. There were still several open spaces. What will happen when all the jewels are in one place? They might have gone after Fugolian because he had that jewel, but the greater possibility is that his strength and ideology would have kept them from their goals. I've been investigating several dissidents in secret. This time, for the first time, I picked up their tracks and was searching for them. But if they're planning something extraordinary, maybe I shouldn't have left the capital. Julius then suddenly spoke up. We'll get the details from the captive later. In any case, people look to the Magic Knights for one thing, the peace of the kingdom. In order to preserve that, we must keep fighting with everything we have. Nozel started to walk away. If you'll excuse me. Nozel, Solid called out. Izuku looked at Nozel with a mixed expression. Julius let out a small smile. The three Silva siblings walked away from the scene. Nozel was scowling. Not at anyone specifically, but he was scowling at himself. Pitiful, what an appalling spectacle. Nozel thought to himself. Never let this happen again, Nozel. And several images of Nozel and Fugolian growing up together played in Nozel's head. I will find the one who did this to you and bury them myself. Julius let out a small smirk. Has the enemy awakened not a sleeping lion, but a hawk? Either way, I'd rather not end up feeling this useless again. The chubby Magic Knight, Noses Hammond, spoke up. You said it. Soul spoke up. We will get stronger as well. The Magic Knights yelled out. I'm the one who's going to get the strongest. A familiar voice yelled out. Mimosa turned to the medical building and saw Leopold leaning on the door. Leopold, you need to rest. Mimosa called out. Leopold ignored her and stared at Izuku. Izuku, I'm glad we both pulled through. You're my rival. We've faced death together and survived, and so I expect you to get stronger too. And, big brother, what's that mark on your forehead? A younger Leopold called out to a younger Fugolian. This. It's a mark handed down in the Vermilion family, the sign of a personal oath. It's only worn by those prepared to conquer themselves and become king. Whoa, that's really cool. Master Fugolian has become a truly splendid individual. He might just be the one to obtain both thrones of the king and the wizard king, and become the true king. Younger Leopold looked at his older brother in awe. My brother is truly amazing. I'll work hard too, so I'll be fit to be his younger brother. It's not like I want to be like him. A small fire formed on Leopold's thumb. This is the mark of my oath. Leopold then presses the fire on his forehead, burning himself. I'll become a man who surpasses even Fugolian. Leopold had resolved himself. I'll be the one to become the wizard king. Leopold yelled out. The burn mark on his forehead now resembled the one his older brother had. Izuku gave a competitive smile in return. Yeah, let's see who can become the wizard king first, Leo. Izuku said with a big smile as he outstretched his arm. Leopold then smirked. Yeah. Leo then fist bumped Izuku. When Noelle saw Izuku smiling, she remembered about sinister mana coming from Izuku and the mark in his forehead. What was that? Noelle thought while looking at Izuku. The Wizard King concluded that the attack on the capital had been the work of anti-Clover Kingdom terrorists and declared his intent to continue resolutely opposing them. The Wizard King knew one thing, a fact that he was completely sure of. There was a traitor among the capital's mages. Oh, they hurt. My wounds hurt. Raids cried out in frustration. Izuku, that green-haired punk, I swear I will slaughter him. I'll muster the ultimate corpse army. So his name is Izuku, huh? The crazed black-haired girl said. Don't finish him, Raids. I want to tinker with him while he's still alive. Besides, I healed your wounds. They shouldn't hurt now. Shut up. They ache all right. I saw the brat first. Keep your mitts off him, Sally. I can't hear you. I hope we meet again, Izuku. Until then, I'll use the little samples I got when you were in the jail and research. An unknown figure gazed at an orange stone. I couldn't save Jork and Catherine. The figure stated. Valtos turned towards the figure. Those two have big egos, but they worship you. They won't leak any of our information. I'm not worried about that. As long as they are alive, we'll rescue them without fail. The figure lifted up his sleeve and his arm had aged where it almost all bones. I thought I had dodged at time that accelerates the flow of time. How terrifying. Still, we'll build up our strength and we will bring him down. In order to get our revenge on the Clover Kingdom and establish a new country that's ours alone. At the capital, the Magic Knights were having no success at getting information from the captured enemies. It's no good. There's a protection spell on them. I can't search for information. Catherine smirked in response. Even if there weren't, we'd never talk. The Master is the light in the darkness, our God. When all others abandoned us, the Master did not. We could never repay that with betrayal. The Wizard King stared at them in response before walking away. All we've found out is that their leader has terrifying unifying power, along with fearsome magic power. I bet he was also the one who defeated Fugolian. When he wakes up, we may learn something. Continue searching for clues. Asta was not in a good mood. He had taken a well-needed nap after training for 3 hours straight. He slept through the entire capital attack. He felt so embarrassed, and he needed to make sure his friends were okay. He immediately looked for his friends, before running into Izuku, Noelle, and Charmy. Izuku moved as soon as he saw him. Asta, we need help. Izuku called out. We're lost. Asta let out a small chuckle. My foolish friend, you are lost, you say? Allow me to successfully let you back home. Asta said, full of confidence. Literally 10 minutes later. We're lost. Asta yelled out, frustrated. The capital's huge. Izuku only nodded in agreement. Hey, Asta yelled out as he waved to people walking down a street ahead of them. Izuku turned and saw Yuno, Klaus, and Mimosa. It seemed everyone had healed up from the capital attack. Klaus said as he pushed up his glasses. If it isn't Izuku and company. Asta suddenly called out. I heard you took down an enemy. Look, it was nothing, you idiot. Hey, give a proper greeting, idiot face. Don't get snobby just 'cause you took down one. Courtesy makes the world go round. Yuno's grimoire appeared in response. A giant bird of wind suddenly erupted, and went flying towards Asta. Asta's face went to complete shock. He immediately took action and his anti-magic blade appeared in front of him. He swung with his might, cutting the magic in half. Was that too much? Yuno asked with a blank face. What do you think you're doing, Yuno? Klaus asked in bewilderment. Is he an idiot? Asta asked with shock. Was he trying to finish us or something? Just as Asta was about to cuss Yuno out, the wind began to letters. Later shortsta is what it formed. Why? You little get over here and fight me, idiot. Don't blast me with magic just to show me some magical letters. Don't you dare ignore me and leave. Ignoring me is as rude as it gets. Klaus was impressed at Yuno's control. Yuno, his magic is much stronger. And in such short time, what on earth happened? Klaus thought to himself. Asta let out a smile. If you're going to get stronger, then I'm going to get stronger even faster. Asta said with a smirk. Who? That mission wiped me out. Erupted a voice from the Black Bull's headquarters. The voice came from none other than Magna. But check this out. They recognized our deeds with a star. I'm going to keep right on showing the other Black Bulls how it's done, suckers. Magna smirked. Luck smiled. That's right, Magna. Let's sprint ahead with our combo move, crackling Magna Typhoon. I'm never doing that move again. Magna cried out. Out. Welcome back, Magna and Luck. Asta waved at them. Were you at the capital, Asta? Magna asked. Asta let out a small frown. No, if I was. Maybe, but maybe Fugolian wouldn't have. Yami put his hand on Asta's head. Kid, you're not at fault here, plus who do you think you're worrying about, punk? Yami said with his normal expression. The hot-headed king of the hard-noses won't die that easy. He'll probably just level up and come right back. Asta nodded. Yeah, you're right. Asta said, but was feeling a bit different on the inside. I need to get strong so I can protect others like Fugolian, Asta thought as he clenched his fists. Izuku also clenched his fists. He was right there. He could have helped Fugolian, but he was too weak. His quirk One for All was created for the sole purpose of saving people in danger. He had to level himself up, and quick. There was still the other enemy wizard who at least as fast as the Wizard King. He needed to take him down as quick as possible. He had to level himself up right now. Let's head to a mixer. Finral suddenly said to Asta and Izuku. Was Asta's and Izuku's dignified response. Finral, Izuku, Asta, and Luck all sat at a table in silence. On the other side of the table sat 4 girls. They all stared at each other in silence before Finral spoke up. Well, let's get introductions started. Finral said with a smile. I'll go first. 21 years old, from Tota. I'm the Black Bull's spatial magic user Finral. Finral stated with a charming smile as he handed them flowers. They're fresh-picked moon blossoms. Please accept them as a token of our friendship. Finral stated. Oh, that's amazing. Good. Finral thought to himself. I've got them hooked, this time I will get a girlfriend. And in order for that happen, I need the others to give all they got. Go on, introduce yourselves. Finral nudged the other Black Bulls. So, I just have to say what I like, right? Luck thought to himself. Luck, age 18, from Iban. I belong to the Black Bulls. I like fighting tough enemy in Mortal Kombat. Luck stated with a smile. A man should talk about what his dream, right? Asta thought to himself. I'm Asta. I'm 15. I'm from Hage. I'm a Black Bull. My dream is to become the Wizard King. Asta yelled out in excitement. The ladies stared at Asta and Luck. These two seemed kinda dicey. They thought to themselves. Everyone was staring at Izuku before noticing he was doing an air chair exercise. A Deku? Finral asked. He then pointed at his seat. Thought about him relaxing? Izuku was also writing in a notebook about possible moves he could try out. He didn't have time to rest, he needed to be working anytime he could. DKU. Finral suddenly yelled out, freaking Izuku out and making him fall in his chair. Introduce yourself, please? Oh, was Izuku's response. My name is Izuku, or you can call me Deku, 15 years old. I'm from Hage as well. Was all that Izuku said. Silence enveloped the table. The girls put on fake smiles. I heard that they were supposed to be magic knights, but Black Bulls? They're the bottom of the barrel. Hage. He not just a peasant. He's a super ultra peasant. There's no way he'll become the Wizard King. Geez, he's just a kid. Izuku began to tune out of the conversation. Not that he didn't want to date, but he didn't have time to. He needed to find a way home. And in order to find a way home, he needed to make sure everyone here was safe, and to that he couldn't try stagnant. He had to get stronger. He had to become the strongest. He needed to return home and put a stop to Shigaraki and all for one. He wanted to see his mother and his friends. Meanwhile, Noelle was watching the table from afar in a maid outfit, serving the guests. Her own version of incognito. She had a small blush on her face. Hearing about this mixer worried me so much I disguised myself as an employee and came to check, Noelle thought to herself with a sigh. I can't believe this. A mixer. This is exactly what's wrong with those low-born imbeciles. Still, it doesn't look like it going well. That's a relief. Noelle then noticed all of them were talking and getting along except for Izuku. None of the girls seemed to be talking to him, as he pretty much wasn't talking to any of them. That made Noelle sigh with relief. She immediately noticed she did that. Don't get me wrong. Noelle thought to herself. It's not like I care about that green plant head. It doesn't matter who he ends up with or what they do together. Hey, sister, give me a beer. A drunk customer suddenly called out. Noelle immediately turned towards him. Pour it yourself, insect. The man's face just paled in response. The table's conversion continued on with everyone seeming to get more and more along. Izuku was so out of the conversion, he had seemingly grabbed a dumbbell from out of nowhere and was now starting to do reps with it. Suddenly, a middle-aged drunk walked over to their table. Well, you look like you're having fun magic nights, the man said in between hiccups. He turned towards Asta and raised an eyebrow. Huh, what's with this kid? Are you really a magic knight? If a shrimp like this can make it in, maybe I'll join the magic knights myself. Asta just rubbed his head sheepishly. Hee, I'm pretty surprised I made it in too. Asta said with a small smile. Izuku was watching the situation on edge. Taking a real pretty lady like this, that's real classy. The man said as he stared at the lady Asta was talking with. Bet you're desperate to catch yourself a magic knight, ain't missy? The lady was starting to look very uncomfortable. Izuku suddenly stood up. Sir, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. Izuku stated. Huh. The man stared at Izuku. Who the hell are you, the store security? A little twerp like you? The man suddenly lunged for the lady before a black whip grabbed his arm. You little. Asta suddenly got up and grabbed the man and flipped him across the table. Don't assume things, you idiot. Asta stated as everyone got up and left the restaurant. Izuku noticed the lady, who he had learned name was Rebecca, was talking to Asta in a corridor. Izuku let out a smile. Asta was pretty cool. Hey, I'm gonna go train for a bit, I'll see you guys later. Izuku yelled out as he ran away. Izuku found himself alone in a forest outside the capital. It was snowing, but he didn't mind. Green electricity erupted from his body. His body could only handle 20% without injuring itself. He needed to increase that as far as he could. As he was sat on the ground, he lost consciousness and the world that he had seen just a few times come forth. The vestige world. The world that contained all of the previous one for all users. Izuku Midoriya. A calm but strong voice called his name. It came from Nana Shimura. She was All Might's teacher. It is time to let it all out. Izuku looked up at her. Danger is approaching, you must get stronger and fast. She said with a slight scowl. What danger? Izuku called out. But before Izuku could get an answer, the world around him began to shake violently and began to crumble. Deku, a familiar voice called out. Izuku woke up and immediately stood up. Standing beside him was Asta, Ghosh, and an old woman he hadn't seen before. Asta, Ghosh, what's going on? Izuku asked before Ghosh suddenly grabbed a hold of Izuku's collar. Are you with them, the ones who took my sister? Ghosh angrily asked. Asta grabbed Ghosh's hand off of Izuku. No, Ghosh, listen up, Izuku. Some freaks kidnapped Ghosh's little sister and also Rebecca's little brother. What are you doing here? Asta questioned. Izuku started to get up. I was training here before I fell asleep. Where are the enemies who took them? Izuku asked. I'm following the biggest mana trace. You're lucky we found you, but all I care about is finding my little sister. Izuku stood all the way up. All right then, let's find them. Ghosh was on his broom, with Asta holding on from beneath. The old lady had her own magic broom. Izuku was running across the ground using Black Whip to grab trees and propel him forwards. Then they noticed a small cave and a young kid on his knees near it. That kinda looks like Rebecca's brother. Take us down a little bit, Mr. Ghosh. Asta called out. Not my problem, Ghosh stated. Marie's the only one I care about. If you want down, then jump. Asta gritted his teeth in frustration before letting go and fell face first into the ground. Asta, the old lady called out. Ghosh, you are unbelievable. She went towards Asta. Izuku stopped right near the boy. Marco. Asta called out. This is awful, the old lady stated. He's covered in scrapes and bruises, and he's getting frostbite. Asta waved at Marco, but there was no response. It's no use. He's under a spell, and his mind isn't here. Asta then tapped Marco's head with the sword, and immediately the boy awakened. A grimoire appeared in front of the old lady. Flames surrounded Marco and began to heal him. Flame recovery magic, sacred healing light. It's so warm, Marco said as he began to warm up. What in the world happened? Marco looked up puzzled. I dunno. Marco, Asta called out. We have to go save your big sis and the others. Can you wait in that cave by yourself? Marco had a look of fear in his eyes when he looked at Asta. No, I'm scared. Asta, stay with me. Marco begged. What are you talking about? You're a guy too, right? Asta questioned. Well, guess there's no helping it. I'll let you borrow my Black Bull's robe, just this once. If you wear that, you'll be fine. It's got magic knight courage in it. Asta said with a smile. We'll be back, so just wait for us, all right? Uh-huh, Marco said with a sparkle in his eyes. Asta took another look at Marco. And you better give that back, it's just a loan, okay? Asta turned towards the cave and looked at Izuku. Izuku nodded in response before they both rushed in. A young girl let out a cry of pain. The girl was tied to a chair that was draining her mana. Gwahahahaha. Good, that's real good. A somewhat large man cried out. He had glasses and had large lips. His hair was split down the middle. Squeeze out more magic, kid. The girl suddenly fell unconscious. And she's done. All right, next, maybe the star attraction? The man asked with a slight smile. He looked towards a young girl. Marie, Gauche's little sister. No, don't. Marie cried out. A young man, whose hair was white and overall had a timid-looking body, was starting to escort her towards the chair. You mustn't disobey my brother, the white-haired man said. Marie, came the cry of Gauche as he flew towards them. Gauche, Marie called out. Gauche took a look at Marie. Phew. Your ochre across her cheek was a bruise, most likely from a slap. Gauche's eyes widened in anger. What did you do to Marie? A mirror appeared in front of Gauche before firing a beam of mana right at the two brothers. Ah, it's an enemy, brother. The timid one called out. That robe, he's a magic knight. The other brother growled. RRGH. How'd they get here so fast? Do something, Nej. Use your magic too. The older brother commanded. The timid one, now known as Nej, summoned his grimoire. Oh, okay. Nej's face remained timid. Snow erupted from his hands towards Gauche. Snow magic, snow cry. Another mirror appeared far away from Gauche before Gauche suddenly appeared next to the new mirror. That quick movement allowed him to easily dodge the attack. My attacks are missing. Oh no, Nej turned the pages in his grimoire and used a different spell. Snow magic flew towards the ground, and snow golems rose for the ground. Snow creation magic. Snow magic. The snow golems rushed towards Gauche. Go, my friends. Gauche scowled in response. Uppity little idiot. Several mirrors appeared all over. Gauche then fired a beam of mana through one, making the beam of mana go through all of them. Mirror magic. Reflect refrain. The beam got shot from several angles, eliminating all of the snow golems. Time for a massacre, Gauche said with a menacing aura. Ah, my friends, this man is strong and scary, Nej said as he began to cower. Gauche's overwhelming magic aura was so large the man could feel it from here. What is with this guy's magic? What should I do, brother? Nej asked in worry. Shut up, slowpoke. Use your own brain for a change. Rah. Asta and gang charged through from the entrance. Asta suddenly jumped right next to the older brother, Izuku not far behind. The scene they saw made their eyes narrow. Bodies of children alive, but unconscious. The old lady tried to feel their magic. The older brother looked on in worry. Lousy frigate, we haven't drained the magic yet, he thought to himself. And actually, these children, their magic's been extracted? They may never be able to use magic again. Asta's eyes hardened. How could you do something so horrible? Asta questioned. The older brother simply ignored him. Curse it, reinforcements. He then took a look at Asta's mana. Huh. Wahahaha. What's with you? You've got no magic. Zip. Zilch. Nada. A 2-bit punk who's not even a magic knight. I'll take you, missile. Asta suddenly appeared in front of him and swung his sword and sent the older brother flying with one hit. The man was completely surprised. He landed with a heavy thud, vital fluid erupting from his mouth. Izuku let out a smile. Asta's gotten so much stronger since I first met him. Asta. Izuku called out. Asta turned around. We'll watch the kids, so go ahead and go all out. Izuku said with a thumbs up. Asta just let out a smirk in response. Ah, came Neji's cry from afar. His snow golems had been blasted away once again. Done already? Ghosh questioned with murderous intent. Then die. Wussy loser. Ah, stay back. His grimoire flipped a bunch of pages. Snow erupted and surrounded Ghosh before barricaded him in. Snow binding spell, snow lime rock. I did it. I sealed the mirror too. Suddenly a beam of mana hit him in the back, knocking him down. Standing behind Nej was another Ghosh. Why is there another one? Nej questioned as he fell to the ground. Ghosh and Ghosh number 2 suddenly walked towards each other. Real double. They both called out. My real double is a spell that summons another me out of the mirror world. I'd already activated it, right before you caught me. Ghosh thought to himself. Izuku looked at Ghosh in amazement. His magic was so powerful. Though Ghosh did have his little sister complex, Ghosh was pretty amazing. What's Nej doing? The older brother called out in anger. That guy's completely useless. Blasted. Asta suddenly grabbed the man by the collar, lifting him up against the wall. Asta's expression was full of anger. Why did you something so nasty? Asta questioned as his grip tightened. Do you even know how much it hurts to lose your magic? Do you? What do I care, moron? It doesn't matter to me if other guys die or lose their magic. Asta gritted his teeth and his fist before cocking his fist back. The older brother gritted his teeth and closed his eyes in fear as Asta slammed his fist towards his face, only to hit wall behind him, shattering the wall of rock. This pain isn't enough to make up for what you did. You're gonna pay for it properly, starting now, Asta declared. Izuku then wrapped the older brother's arms together with Black Whip. Asta started bonking all the kids on the head, removing the magic that was controlling them. The kids began to hug each other and began to thank Asta. Izuku let out a smile. Kids should be allowed to enjoy themselves. Not a single one should have had to deal with a kidnapping. Ah, came Nej's cry as Ghosh kicked him. Ghosh, stop that. He can't fight anymore. He hurt Marie. The only way to atone for that is death. Ghosh, I'm okay. Sister Theresa healed my injuries too, so please forgive him. Marie pleaded. No, I can't. I'm eliminating anyone who might hurt you. Never mind that. The old woman, now named as Theresa, yelled at Ghosh. We need to ask them how to return these kids' magic back to them. You two, why did you do this? Children are the very future of this country. They're the 3-leaf sprouts that grace the nation. Nej started crying. I just wanted friends. That's all it hurts, Big Brother Barrow. What should I do? Useless, whiny, noisy little punk. Barrow thought to himself. I just thought of this as an easy way to make money. Why is this happening to me? I just wanted to be happy. It's her. It's her fault. She tricked me. Geez, hurry up and get here, you moron. Hurry and tell us how to put the magic back. Asta yelled out. A splitting headache suddenly hit Izuku. Danger. Izuku turned behind him. Whoa. A spatial portal opened up from behind everyone. Izuku's eyes widened as he recognized who it was. You're here, huh? If you can travel with spatial magic, you sure took your sweet time. Barrow yelled out. They shut down our magic collecting. Help us. Gosh, you're so whiny and loud. I'll give you a pat on the back this time, though. Her crazed eyes and messy hair could only belong to her. Well, maybe one other girl obsessed with vital fluid. Izuku. Sally yelled out. I can't believe we meet again so soon. Sally then noticed Asta. Oh, and the boy with the anti-magic magic? A 2-for-1 bargain. Asta, be careful, this girl is crazy. Izuku yelled out. Asta nodded. She fits the description of crazy, Asta said as he brought his sword in front of him. Wow. You two are so mean. Ghosh glared at Sally with a murderous look. Reinforcements then die. A mana beam shot towards Sally. Sally's grimoire suddenly appeared in front of her. A giant salamander made of gel suddenly appeared in front of her and absorbed the mana beam. Gel magic, sticky salamander. Would you not interrupt our moving reunion? While I'm at it, Sally then licked her lips. Maybe I'll dissect everybody. Asta turned to Izuku. 100% crazy. Asta prepared himself. The salamander stared at them as with a look that was almost as crazy as Sally's. Sally then held up a pendant. What's this? I came because you called me with magic transmission item, but you haven't collected much magic, have you? Well, not that it matters anymore, haha. These guys got in our way. Get rid of them. Theresa began to sweat. The eye of the midnight sun. The terrorists who attacked the capital? Theresa asked. So they're involved in this? Asta's eyes widened in realization. This was the group who hurt Fugolian. The salamander suddenly leaped towards all of them. Here I come. She leaped directly towards Asta. Incoming. Ghost Grimoire appeared in front of him. What about this one? Mirror magic. Reflect refrain. Several mana beams hit the salamander from every angle possible. It had no effect. She warped all of it. Ghost realized. That's some fine magic, but it gets refracted inside Mr. Solomon, so there's no point. If it was more powerful magic, maybe things could be different. A gel blob was launched at Asta. Asta tried to slash it, but it changed shape into 4 smaller blobs and went around Asta's blade. The blob was about to touch Asta, but a black whip grabbed Asta's arm and pulled him away. Asta. Izuku had immediately reacted and pulled him away. Don't get touched by any of it. Sure enough, right where Asta had been standing, Sally had landed covered in gel. Oh, woo Izuku. I wanted to learn more about Mr. Dark Magic. Sally pouted. Oh, well, I'll have time to explore every inch of him after I. A cross of fire launched itself into the gel salamander. Flame magic. Brilliant flame cross. The magic came from none other than Theresa. The salamander was completely melted. Oh, wow, you melted, Mr. Solomon. Granny. Asta called out. You're really tough. I may be old, but I'm a former magic knight. Theresa, the crimson she-leopard. That's me. Huh, was Asta's and Izuku's reaction. She's all pumped up. Wait, former, did you know Captain Fugolian? Izuku asked. Fuego, oh yes, Fugi, yes. When I served at the palace, I was his teacher. He was a little snot-nosed brat, but he grew up well. Sally looked at the situation. I'm very outnumbered here, this doesn't look good. Hey you, Barrow called out. I'll back you up with my awesome mud magic. So just fix my body up, will you? You can do that, right? Well, there is a way, but are you sure? Yeah, anything's fine. Just hurry up and heal me. And give me my money. Do it, and I'll help you. Barrow said before thinking to himself. Yeah, right. Once I'm healed, I'm getting the hell away from here. I'll do it, but are you sure? Yeah, really sure? I said it's fine. Just shut up and do it. Okie dokie in that case. Sally landed right near him and suddenly injected his neck with a weird needle. Huh. Barrow looked in confusion. Immaculate pain suddenly erupted from his body. Guh Gaia. He let out a painful scream. Barrow. Nedge called out in worry. What is that? Asta asked. Mud suddenly erupted from Barrow's mouth. Izuku immediately activated Black Whip and grabbed everyone and pulled them away. Mud erupted from his body. Barrow's normal body was nowhere to be seen. In place of his human body, a mud behemoth stood. What is that? Theresa questioned in shock. The behemoth did not stop growing. It would tower over most buildings. It was quite literally a behemoth. It let out an angry roar. Hoopsie, Sally called out. I messed up a little. He can move now, and his magic's recharged, but his personality wandered off somewhere. The children cried out. In fear. Protect the children. Theresa yelled out. Gauche grabbed Marie and immediately flew off. Let's go, Marie. Gauche and Marie flew out of the cave. Gauche. Asta called out, but it was too late. Gauche was already gone. Izuku used black whips to grab all of the children and had them all huddle up in one group. He tried to go towards the entrance, but the mud behemoth slammed his fists at Izuku, making Izuku have to go the other way. Izuku, Theresa, and Asta were all huddled up in just one corner. Along with all the children, the behemoth launched several debris of rocks at the group. Fire erupted from Theresa, taking out most of the debris. What's going on? Theresa yelled out. We can't handle something that big. We have to get the children away. Flame creation magic, guiding light leopard. A fire leopard appeared before Theresa. All right, ride on that and escape, a few at a time. Theresa stated. We'll need to buy them some time to get away. Until then, we have to hold this position. The mud behemoth suddenly looked at Nedge. Die. The behemoth roared out. Everybody die. It slammed its fists at Nedge. Big brother Barrow. What happened to you? Don't you know me? Nedge closed his eyes as the fist came upon him. Asta dashed in front of Nedge and cut the fist in half. How? Why did you save me? Asta gave Nedge a side look. You haven't taken any responsibility for this yet. Until you do, I'm not letting you die. Asta then turned to the mud behemoth. And, hey, did you just try to live your younger brother? How big of an idiot are you? Asta then dashed towards it. It looks like my sword works on you, so I'll just keep right on. Suddenly the behemoth's hand regrew and attempted to hit Asta. Asta narrowly dodged it. The dark magic item I just injected him with eats the subject's life energy and produces an explosion of magic power. Sally let out a crazed smile. If he's like that, even with anti-magic, you won't be able to take him down that easy. Asta continued slashing, but the behemoth endlessly regrew everything back. There's no end to it. Asta was starting to get tired. Your wide open Asta. Suddenly a black whip grabbed Sally and pulled her towards Izuku. Izuku then slammed his fist into Sally at 10%. If I can take her down at least, that will give Asta time to breathe. Sally had seemingly dodged the attack. She was able to morph her into gel. Grabbing her seemed almost impossible. Sally appeared above Izuku before a flame of fire hit her. Teresa stood behind Izuku. Sister Teresa, Izuku called out. Protect the children. I'm going to take her down, Izuku said as he activated full cowl at 20%. Gosh, go back, Marie pleaded. No, I'm taking you back to town, Marie. But the others? Please go back. Nope, Gosh said with a stoic expression. My magic doesn't work on that woman. And now there's an insanely powerful monster too. If I fought that, I would be putting you in danger. As long as you're okay, Marie, I don't care about anyone else. That's right, other people are just. Gosh remembered how his life was before being a Black Bulls. The House of Adlai is a distinguished, noble family, the envy of everyone. Father and mother died in an accident. I was named their successor and there will now get out. Young Gosh and Marie were kicked out, their noble status meaningless. Marie, young Gosh swore to himself. I'll protect you, Marie. Robbing, mugging, no matter what I have to do. You're everything to me, Marie. Only you. You're all I need, Marie. What do I care about other people? Current Gosh asked. Tears welled up in Marie's eyes. She clenched her fist. HYH. Marie punched Gosh right in the jaw. I can't stand seeing you this uncool, Gosh. Marie cried out. I hate it. You're right. Lots of people did lots of mean things to us, but Sister Teresa and the other children from the church are different. They're good people, Marie exclaimed. Everyone's lives are connected, you know? We're who we are because they're here. Besides, the Magic Knights are supposed to protect everyone, aren't they? I really like that you're a Magic Knight, Marie exclaimed. Please stay the cool big brother I'm proud of, Marie Gosh said, surprised. Oh, a voice called out to them. A young kid in a black bull robe. Marco, Marie called out. Marco, you're okay. I'm so glad. Sister Teresa and Asta saved me and a green-haired guy. That's just like them. Marie turned to Gosh. I'll wait here with Marco. So Gosh, please go save everyone, Marie pleaded. Gosh turned to Marco. Hey kid, that robe. Asta loaned it to me. He said it would make me brave. I'll protect Marie. You can count on me. Gosh gave Marco a murderous glare. You better believe you will, you little punk. If anything happens to Marie, I'll kick your little. Gosh, Marie cried out. Gosh flew back towards the cave. Asta, Asta, Asta. Everybody and their cousin, what's so great about that guy anyway? The captain and the other brigade members think he's really something else. Anyways, I bet he and the green-haired punk both gave up and ran off. When you get to it, everybody values themselves over other people. Izuku, Asta, and Teresa all stood in front of the children. And in front of them was the mud behemoth and Sally. Geez, you're stubborn. Quit protecting those guys and let me catch you, Asta. Quit protecting? I'm a Magic Knight. No way. Not even if it takes my life. A small smirk came on Gosh's face. Is this guy an actual idiot? And until I become the Wizard King, I ain't gonna die. Asta cut a giant fist that came at him. But the behemoth's leg came towards Asta. Asta was in mid-air, he would not be able to dodge it. Gosh suddenly appeared and kicked Asta out of the way. Mr. Gosh, Asta said in relief. You almost died right after yelling some dumb stuff. Gosh said with a scowl. What were you doing? Asta questioned. Running away? No, idiot. I wasn't running away. I just getting Marie to safety. So the idiot finally came, did he? Teresa said with a slight huff. It doesn't matter whether you join in or not. It's useless, Sally stated as the mud behemoth charged at Gosh. I'll take you on by myself. Gosh stated. I'll fight. For the sake of Marie's love. And so she can call me cool. Two Gosh suddenly appeared. Real double. Suddenly, several mana beams penetrated the mud behemoth. Double, reflect, refrain. The behemoth was shot from multiple angles, destroying its body. However, it immediately regenerated and charged at Gosh. This monster magic keeps bubbling from it, and it regenerates right away. If I pull any punches, I won't be able to take it down. My magic doesn't work on that woman anyway. I haven't been this incompatible with an opponent since the captain. Gosh put his hand on his covered eye. Should I use my trump card? No. No matter how strong my mirror magic gets, it won't help. Suddenly, the behemoth's fist appeared right in front of Ghosh, hitting him and knocking him into the ground with a heavy thud. His body was heavily injured. Another fist came raining towards him. TCH, guess I really shouldn't have came back only for Asta to appear in front of Ghosh. I thought you came to help. Asta yelled at Ghosh. We're a team, right? Don't be charging in by yourself. Asta turned to Ghosh. I'll protect you. You protect me. If we do that, we'll be able to fight forever. Asta yelled out. An epic strategy, if I do say so myself, bah. Ghosh let out a small laugh. What a ridiculous strategy. This guy really is an idiot. Come to think of it, that guy was an idiot too. A younger Ghosh was tired and in prison clothes. Aren't you done fighting yet? You can't run anymore? Captain Yami of the Black Bulls asked him. My sister is waiting for me. Oh yeah? Well, if your sister matters that much, work for my brigade and support her. What are you talking about? I'm an escaped convict. Yeah? So what? Anyway, I don't trust other people. My sister's the only one I think of. That's fine, Yami said with a smile. You just protect what you want to protect. Someday, that'll help somebody out. Captain, did you know this would happen? I guess there's no choice. If you guys die, it'll make Marie sad. I'll protect you. Teresa looked at Ghosh in surprise. She didn't expect a form of maturity from him, of all people. Suddenly, Asta's grimoire appeared in front of him, and black skinny sword erupted into Asta's hands. Asta's eyes widened. He recognized this sword from that one time. Asta swung the sword with all his might, and a giant black slash erupted from the blade, cutting the behemoth. However, the behemoth immediately regenerated what Asta had cut. Even that isn't gonna work? Asta cried out. Wow. What was that? What was that? A flying anti-magic slash attack? How did you launch it? How did you? Izuku used this distraction to jump towards the creature. Black whip erupted from his hands as they latched onto Sally. Again with the enslavement, Izuku? Sally said in annoyance as she started to turn into gel. I'll be honest, Izuku. I'm starting to find Asta more interesting than you. Before Sally could slip away, Izuku flung himself from Sally towards the behemoth. Black whips then surrounded his arms. The behemoth seemed to regenerate if the attack was too weak or if there were too few of attacks. The black whips hold his hands together tightly. In that case, I'll just deliver a non-stop rush of blows. With black whip around his arms like this, he would be able to handle one for all at a higher percent without his body falling apart. Black whips, enhanced durability. Izuku activated one for all. One for all, 30%. Izuku cocked his fists back before delivering a rush of blows, each punch destroying a large portion of the behemoth. The behemoth was forced back. Izuku had to destroy it before he fell to the ground. Vital fluid began to spurt from his fists, but he ignored it. He had to take this down now. All that was left was its head. Izuku cocked his fist for the final blow, but the behemoth suddenly shot out a mud ball from its head. The mud ball turned into a giant fist and shot behind Izuku. Its arm suddenly twisted before thrusting itself at Izuku. Immediately, black whips changed from his arm to grabbing a nearby tree and pulling him away. The split second of Izuku not attacking was all the time the behemoth needed to regenerate its entire body back. Izuku hit the tree with a big thud. He pulled his head out of the ground and bit his lip in frustration. He was so close, but he wasn't strong to defeat it. Asta looked at Izuku in amazement. Izuku's gotten a lot stronger since he last saw him, but even as strong as he is, the behemoth just won't die. Ghosh began to worry. He couldn't come close to mirroring the same amount of strength that Izuku just showed, but thanks to Izuku, Ghosh just came up with an idea. The only way to take it down as with strikes fast enough it doesn't have time to regenerate, the most effective strike was Asta's slash. But he can't launch those fast enough. Ghosh then came to a realization. I've always used my magic to create copies of myself. What if I used it on somebody else? Because Ghosh had always preferred to act alone and didn't trust people, he'd never thought of using his own magic to support someone else. However, due to his past failures and his reluctant acknowledgement of Asta, he began to rapidly visualize and develop a magic theory. The result, he created a spell that was fundamentally similar, yet completely different, and engraved a new page in his grimoire. But this spell, I can't activate it with the power I've got now. Ghosh noticed Izuku was standing up. Yo, broccoli head, and you old hag, buy me a little time, would ya? Izuku nodded, and Teresa looked surprised at Ghosh. Honestly, you work old hags too hard. I'll only last a minute. so hurry. The behemoth began to charge directly at Teresa. Ghosh grabbed his bangs in frustration. There's no way around it. I kept it hidden, but I really will have to use this. Ghosh lifted up his bangs. Asta looked at him. Yes, sir. Look at me. Instead of a regular eye, his covered eye was a glass eyeball that looked exactly like a mirror. The behemoth suddenly launched itself into the air and planned to land right on Asta and Ghosh. Teresa's eyes widened. How are we supposed to stop that? Green electricity suddenly shot into the air. Izuku had flung himself towards the behemoth. Izuku had to stop its descent. If it landed, it would wipe out this entire environment. There was pain in his head. It felt like electricity was puncturing his head. He had to ignore it. Black whips erupted from both his hands. Izuku was currently above the behemoth. It wasn't long before the behemoth hit the ground. Izuku shot out as many black whips he could, wrapping them the behemoth's body. He used all of his strength and slowed its momentum. He couldn't stop it, but he could slow it down. He then flung himself onto the ground right in front of Asta. The black whips detached from the behemoth and surrounded Izuku's body. Black whips, black armor. Then Izuku put his hands above him in a catching motion. Ghosh realized what he was planning. Ghosh had just a few more seconds before he had enough mana for his spell. Green hair, are you insane? Are you planning on catching that monster? Ghosh asked in complete shock. Red veins showed up throughout Izuku's body. Yeah, I'm a lot of things, Ghosh. Izuku then gritted his teeth. But I'm not someone who's gonna let you die. Boom. Izuku's hands and the behemoth's body collided. Izuku had expanded black whips at the last second and used them like a fishing net. Izuku's body was pushed into the ground, but the behemoth was suspended in the air. Asta then began to run towards the monster. Ghosh let out a smirk. It was ready. Mirror magic, mirror brigade. Numerous amount of Astas erupted from the mirror and swung the skinny black sword with all his might. Hundreds of slashes launched themselves at the behemoth, slicing them into small bits. Mirror slash. The behemoth was completely destroyed. The mud monster was finally beaten. An uncountable amount of Astas leapt into the air towards the mud behemoth. A black aura surrounding each and every sword was launched and completely destroyed the behemoth. Asta let out a sigh of relief as the other Astas disappeared. The children all cheered. Yay! A crazed laugh erupted from the ground. Sally was laid out on the ground, bleeding from her mouth, along with her clothes almost completely destroyed. That was amazing. I've just got to analyze the power you used. Sally said in between heavy breaths. Asta, you're mine. You know that. Asta's sweat dropped at that. She's freaking crazy. Izuku was laying on the ground. His body hurt all over, but he had a smile on his face. They had taken that thing down. The children were safe as long as they could figure out a way to give their magic back. Suddenly, the painful electricity once again hurt his head. Every time it showed up, the thought of danger entered his head. Izuku immediately got up and turned to Asta. His eyes immediately widened. Asta, behind you. Somehow the main part of the mud behemoth was still moving. You could clearly see Barrow covered in the mud advancing behind Asta. Asta reacted too slowly, the creature throwing a fist right at Asta as he turned. Boom. Snow magic suddenly froze the creature in place, stopping it from hitting Asta. Asta turned and recognized who had saved him. You, Asta said in surprise. I can't forgive the people who did this to my brother, but the one I can't forgive most, tears welled in Nej's eyes, is myself for leaving everything to him and just doing what he said. The tears flowed from his eyes. I'm sorry, big brother. Barrow was completely frozen in snow. You're Asta, right? Nej asked. We've committed a serious crime. This is one of the ways I'll take responsibility. I'll turn myself into the magic knights afterward. Right. Asta nodded. Nej put his head down. After I've paid for my crime and have been released, you? Nej was unable to finish his sentence. He thought to himself, a wish like that would be asking too much. Asta suddenly interrupted him. Yeah, let's be buds. You can use awesome magic, so you'll be popular, haha. Thanks for saving me, Asta said with a large grin. Nej looked at Asta in shock before a big smile was plastered across his face. Before anyone could react, a beam of light pierced Nej's back, immediately knocking him to the ground. Inside the cave, a spatial portal had opened up. Danger. Ghosh jumped back. What is that magic? I've never felt something so huge. A spear of light pierced Ghosh's arm and leg. Ghosh had no time to react. The move was so fast he couldn't even see it. Izuku's head was splitting with a ridiculous headache. He had seen this guy before back, when he was saved by the Wizard King. He had to get up, he had to stop him. Ghosh fell with a heavy thud. Ghosh! Teresa yelled out in shock. She looked towards the spatial portal. I will protect these children. A barrier of flames erupted and shielded Asta and the children. A flicker of light erupted from the spatial portal. Asta blinked, and when he opened his eyes, Teresa had light spears embedded into her body. In an instant her barrier was destroyed. Old hag! Ghosh called out in worry. Granny! Asta yelled out. Sister! Teresa fell to the ground, coughing up abnormal amounts of vital fluid. Children, are you all right? Always on every battlefield, it was the weak children, innocent children, who were the victims of war. She coughed up more. I wanted to protect those children, so after I left the battlefield, I became a nun. Asta, please protect these children. Granny, what are you saying? A voice came from the spatial portal. You people are born as sinners. Izuku leaped over to Asta. This was definitely the one who could keep up with the Wizard King. Izuku's injuries were severe, his fists were almost unusable. He could do 100% smash with them each, but that was it. And based on everything else he knew about this enemy, he was too fast for Izuku to land something like that on him. His body was also extremely tired, he wouldn't be able to fight in a battle of endurance. I haven't introduced myself yet, have I? The man walked out of the spatial portal, his full appearance shown to the world. I am. The man is a tall, slender-framed man with white skin. His pointy ears giving off the feeling that he wasn't human. He had gold eyes, and his white hair was pulled back into a single braid. I am the leader of the Eye of the Midnight Sun Licht. This said with a smile as he held Sally bridal style. His grimoire had appeared right next to him. Behind Licht stood Valtos, whose eyes were analyzing the situation. Asta's eyes immediately widened. No way, a four-leaf clover grimoire. Just like you know? Asta questioned. Licht looked down at Sally, and tears flowed down his face. Just look at how badly you've hurt my comrade. Poor Sally. Master Licht, Sally said in response. Valtos then spoke up. She said she was going to the old laboratory, so I used spatial magic, but I never dreamed this would happen. There's no need for you to feel responsible, Valtos. Licht answered. They probably used some craven trick again. Licht then looked towards Asta and Izuku. A moment ago, you said it was always the weak who were the victims. You're wrong, Licht stated. Izuku's eyes narrowed. The victims were the strong, Licht said as his eyes narrowed. The targets of jealousy, fear, discrimination, and theft. Asta couldn't believe what this guy was talking about. What's this guy saying? Asta questioned. And so we'll not forgive the Clover Kingdom. This time we will destroy the U and create our own kingdom. Asta looked at them like they were crazy. What's all this crazy, mixed up stuff you keep blabbing about? You're the ones who started this fight, you idiot. Asta yelled out. Before Asta could react, a light spear embedded itself into his leg. A spatial portal opened up and Sally disappeared. GYH. Asta let out a cry of pain. Licht's face darkened. You are the ones who started this. Shut your filthy mouth, Licht said with his face full of murderous intent. Licht then stared at Asta's grimoire. And why does someone like you have that grimoire? Asta couldn't concentrate. This guy's attacks were ridiculously fast. He couldn't see the attack coming at all. What should he do? They're ridiculously fast and come straight towards you. Asta brought his main sword right in front of his body. This is all I got. If I use my sword as a shield and charge straight in, I can avoid any fatal injuries. I'm not done yet, Asta yelled out. Licht was suddenly behind Asta. A massive ball of light formed in his palms. It's no use, Licht simply stated as he fired the beam of light at Asta. Let's have you give back that grimoire. A spatial portal opened up right above them, and a katana deflected the attack. Several more light spears appeared, but were blocked by the katana. Captain Yami had arrived just in time and deflected all of Licht's attacks. Finral stood behind Yami. Licht looked on in surprise before a black iron-toe boot suddenly slammed into his face. One for all, 30% St. Louis smash. Izuku called out as he slammed his leg into Licht's face with all his strength. Licht fell back a couple steps. Izuku let out a small grin. Finally, got a good smash in. Izuku had been waiting for an opening. He had Captain Yami to thank for that. Captain Yami? And whoa, Izuku, you hit him. Asta yelled out. Wait, Captain Yami, why are you here? Why? Yami said in his regular tone of voice. Well, obviously I'm lost. Could you give me some directions? Seriously? Asta yelled out. No, idiot. I'm a magic knight, of course I would show up. Noel reported the kidnapped children to the Magic Knight headquarters. The closest Magic Knights were the Black Bulls. Yami then sighed. None of the members at the base looked like they were going to be any use at all, so I came in person. I'll take care of them later. Finral's sweat dropped at the whole situation. I got dragged out of bed and ended up somewhere ugly. Lick got up. His head was bleeding, but he wasn't as injured as Izuku thought he would have been. Tanking a 30% hit and standing back was no normal feat, but this guy wasn't exactly normal. Lick's grimoire appeared before him, and light magic surrounded him. The light magic healed him, healing his injury from Izuku. Valtos looked on in worry. That's the captain of the Black Bulls, isn't it? Should I bring them? Valtos asked. That other boy, he is powerful. No, Lick ordered as stared at Izuku. I'll leave that boy to you. The captain is a dark magic user. I've been wanting to fight him. Ghosh was crawling across the ground. He had to make sure she was okay. Old hag, don't you die? Don't you dare die. If you die, Marie's going to be sad. Ghosh stated. And I won't feel so great myself. Hey, Finral. Asta called out. Take Granny and Mr. Ghosh and the kids to the town. Sure, leave it to me. What about you, Asta and Deku? I can still fight. Asta yelled out. This is my big chance to see Captain Yami in combat. Like I'd ever leave. So can I. Izuku called out. He definitely couldn't leave and let Yami handle these two, though he had never seen how strong Yami is in person. Finral nodded. Okay, Mr. Yami. Please take care of the rest. He said as he led the kids into a spatial portal as he held Teresa. Hey, Finral. Yami suddenly called out. You better come back. Finral's face dropped. I thought I'd evacuate. Casual like Finral thought to himself. Finral turned and Yami suddenly blocked light spear from hitting Finral. What are you doing to my ride, huh? Yami said with a murderous glare. Finral's sweat dropped. His ride. Finral then walked into his spatial portal. Okay, Yami, I'm going on ahead. You'd better come back, loser. Yami ordered. Asta was starstruck. He had never seen a sword like Yami's. How did you stop that thing, sir? What the heck is that sword? Asta asked. Pipe down, kid. It's a weapon called a katana from my homeland, the land of the sun. Yami sighed. I don't have time to explain, just watch. Several light spears launched themselves at Yami, but Yami was able to react perfectly, deflecting all of them. Awesome. Asta yelled out. Izuku was impressed. He could react to the light spear's incredible speed. Lick let out a small smile. He's boosting his physical abilities with reinforcing magic and cutting my light magic with a sword cloaked in dark magic. However, that isn't all. Lick thought to himself. What about this then? Lick suddenly appeared behind Yami and before fired a light spear directly at his back point blank. Without looking back, Yami slashed the light spear apart. Lick let out a somewhat impressed smile. So this the power of the great magic knight heretic. Yami looked towards him. Huh. Say, have we met somewhere? Yami asked. Lick's eyes twitched in response. Yami then lowered his katana for a brief second. I don't know any light magic users. Who are you? Yami asked. And why do this? What's fun about it? Lick let out a dark smirk. Let me tell you a fable. Long ago, in a certain village, there lived people with very strong magic. They were loved by mana. They changed the weather and manipulated ley lines. They had power to rival the gods. The humans outside the village worshipped them as such. However, gradually the humans grew to fear their strength. They envied it and wanted it. Bloodlust emerged on Lick's expression. They tricked them, massacred them, and stole their power. Asta's body went cold. Izuku gritted his teeth. That was their reason? That's your reason? Izuku yelled out. Valtos and Lick turned towards Izuku. You would kidnap children and drain them of their mana for revenge. Izuku yelled out. Yami nodded his head. What's up with that story? What's it got to do with you? You trying to be a bard or something? Yami lazily questioned. Okay then, I've got a little story too. In a certain place, there was a boy. His folk were fishermen, and he'd been sent out fishing since he was little. Then he got shipwrecked and washed ashore in a weird country. His race and culture were different, so he was met with some serious nastiness there. But he beat everyone up and became the boss of a group. Yami said in a deadpan voice. The end. He then let out a cough of smoke. Well, what did you think of my response, Fable? It was like half my life. Yami said in the same deadpan voice. Why you? Valtos yelled out in anger. Don't mock Master Licht. Shut up. Your face is scary. Yami yelled out immediately. Izuku and Asta just sweat dropped at Yami. Light spears launched themselves at Yami. He deflected some of them, but one of them nicked his shoulder. A small amount fell from his shoulder. Yami narrowed his eyes. He got faster. As a foreigner, I suppose my story has nothing to do with you, Licht stated. His grimoire fully opened and numerous light spears surrounded Licht. They launched themselves at Yami at an unbelievable speed. Yami swung his katana at incredible speed, but the spear managed to his biceps and calves. Captain Yami, Asta and Izuku called out. Izuku was about to step forward. Stay back, I'll handle him, Yami declared. The guy who took out Fugolian, was that you? Licht smiled in response. That's right. I laid my plans carefully and had him walk into a trap. I figured. Yami then narrowed his eyes. You'd never take down that king of hard noses with stuff like this. Dark magic surrounded Yami's blade. Dark magic. A large black slash erupted from the blade. Dark cloaked lightless slash. The black slash destroyed all of the light spears and come into contact with and managed to graze Licht. Vital fluid gushed from cheek as the slash had managed to graze his cheek. Master Licht, Valtos called out. If you hadn't played dirty, you couldn't have won, could you? Yami called out. His expression turned murderous. This time, bring it right to my face. I'll show you what sort of power a magic knight captain's got, Yami declared. Hey kid, Yami called out to Asta. Were you watching that? Why yes sir, Asta yelled out. Great. Try doing it then. Yes sir, while like I could. Asta yelled out in shock. Yami was on a different level. No way he could do it. Yami suddenly grabbed Asta's head and started squeezing it. So wanna try doing it? Oh, you're right. There's no way I could. Asta yelled out. What? Yami's face darkened. Who do you think you're talking to? Huh? Was Asta's response. If I say do it, you do it. You'll turn into a big man that way, Yami stated. Valtos looked on in worry. He blocked Master Licht's attack and even counterattacked the captain of the Black Bulls. Does his power nearly rival that of the Wizard King? Valtos then looked at Izuku. Not to mention him, the green-haired brat. He had enough physical power to knock Licht back. He would have to keep an eye on him, as wasn't fast enough to normally hit Licht, so Valtos had to make sure he didn't give him the chance to try. Licht let out a smile. I see this is dark magic. Light magic surrounded his cheek as he healed himself once again. Get ready, Yami said to Asta. He was serious? Asta thought to himself. No, listen, I really can't. Not in the middle of a fight, and I don't have magic anyway. I'm not telling you to do the last one, idiot. I'm saying do the thing before that. Yami ordered. Block attacks I can't even see, sir. No helping it. Yami said with a sigh. Looked at Izuku. Izuku, listen to me as well while I explain this to Asta. Just once I'm telling you guys. Pay me 500 yells later. He's charging us. Where I come from, there's something called ki. I've been able to react to the attack because I felt its ki. Yami explained. Izuku listened closely. People looking at you, the sound of their breathing, their smell, the motions of their muscles, the vague sense that they're there. Ki is the blanket term for all the different types of energy the human body releases. Yami continued. I read that ki, predicted his next move, then made mine. You've guys done it before, right? Yami asked. Asta's eyes widened in realization. When I do it, I combine it with magic and muscle and fight that way. Yami explained. I guess it's like being a magic swordsman or something. Muscle. So that's why your neck is so thick, Captain Yami. Yours ain't much different, kid. Valtos gritted his teeth. Talking in the middle of a fight, the insolence. You must not get serious, Master Licht. Valtos stated. I know this is impertinent of me, but would you allow me to assist you? Thank you, Valtos. You're always so helpful, Licht said with a kind smile. In that case, the short boy, would you capture him? It's fine to injure him a bit. As for the other green-haired boy, you can kill him. An easy task, Valtos stated as his grimoire opened up. Fire magic appeared in his hand. A spatial portal appeared behind Asta. The fire went through one portal and out the other and went flying towards Asta's head. Yami instantly cut the fire magic and saved Asta. Asta looked up at Yami in surprise. TCH. Valtos lifted his hand up once again. That was close. Asta yelled out. Great timing. Practice on the dude with the scary face. Yami ordered. Izuku stepped forward. A sudden splitting headache occurred, and he felt himself losing consciousness. No body stop. Izuku fell onto the ground and lost consciousness. Izuku, Asta called out. It's fine. Pretty sure he just fell asleep, Yami said as he pointed at Valtos. Go ahead and do it. It's too soon. There's no way I could handle Yami interrupted him. Where I come from, we've got this saying a warrior never breaks his word. Yami let out a puff of smoke. You're going to be the Wizard King. You said that, didn't you? Surpass your limits. Right here. Right now? Yami ordered. There's no other way. Asta nodded. Yes, sir. Asta yelled out. I don't really get it. But for starters, concentrate. Just concentrate. Asta thought to himself. He had no choice but to just do it. Valtos let out a huff of annoyance. Someone with no magic like you could never stop my attacks. A spatial portal opened up behind Asta. Asta reacted and swung his sword. Boom. Asta missed, and his leg had gotten hit. A big bruise, an indication that he had failed. Yami suddenly kicked Asta in the back. Wrong. Yami stated as his face darkened. You just reacted to your ears. That ain't key. Use all 5 senses, you moron. Visualize something halfway between an instinct and a prediction. Do it right, or I'll kill you. Asta's face paled. Say what? That's nuts. But I think I've kinda got to concentrate. Asta's entire vision went dark. The only light he could see was himself. He focused and focused. Asta suddenly reacted and swung his sword to the side. His sword reflecting a ball of fire back into a spatial portal. It went through the portal and hit Valtos and sent him backwards. Valtos fell to the ground. Yes. Asta yelled out in celebration. Wahaha. I did it, Captain Yami. Wait, you actually managed to do it? Creepy. Yami said with a look of comical disgust. Get away from me. Say what? Asta yelled out in response. Licht stared at Valtos's knocked-down body. His entire face darkened. Valtos, he turned to Asta, his face full of murderous intent. How dare you harm Valtos? I can't allow people like you to harm my comrades twice. He yelled out as his grimoire rapidly flipped pages. Light magic surrounded Licht until it formed a giant whip. The path this spell traces resembles the motions of a whip. Can you predict its movements? A crazed look sprouted itself on Licht's face. Besides, once upon a time, they say whips were used to punish criminals. It suits you two quite well. Light creation magic. Light whip of judgment. The whip was flung across the cave at an incredible speed, destroying everything it touched. The cave was beginning to crumble apart. The cave? Asta called out. Wahahaha. Yami laughed. That nutcase has gone ballistic. The top of the cave fell on right on top of Asta and Yami. The cave was a complete mess. Oops, I held back much of my magic, but Licht said with a slight smile. It's all really too fragile. This world and you fools. Light shinned on Licht from above. Valtos suddenly stood up. Amazing, Master Licht. Your strength is practically divine. If you felt like it, Master Licht, the Magic Knights would be like infants compared to. Suddenly Asta and Yami emerged from the rubble. Yami was holding Izuku in his left arm and his katana in the other. They were practically unharmed. If you can concentrate like that, you can even sense the ki of falling rubble. Rocks will never defeat someone who can use ki. Yami yelled at Asta. Whoa, ki is awesome. Hooray for ki. Asta yelled back. Izuku was in complete darkness. He couldn't see anything, but he could move. This place felt familiar, but he didn't recognize it. Suddenly, in the middle of the room shined a light. Izuku had no other option. He walked toward the light. As he approached the light, he saw a white grimoire. It was a simple grimoire, white with red veins all over it. It had less than 5 pages in it. Izuku approached it and picked it up. As soon as he touched the grimoire, the darkness disappeared, and standing on the other side of the grimoire was a tall man. Izuku's eyes widened. He had seen him before in the Vestige world. The tall man had white hair and a scar across his left eye. Hello, Izuku Midoriya. I am the 4th, Hikage Shinomori. I apologize for meeting you this way, but it seems we have no other option. Hikage then pointed to Izuku's head. You've been feeling sudden headaches, have you not? Hikage asked. Izuku nodded. He was unable to speak. In the Vestige world, the only thing he could, right now, do is walk and look. He had unlocked 20%. He was sure once he unlocked 100%, he would be able to speak. Hikage nodded. That's my quirk, Danger Sense. Hikage stated. Izuku's eyes widened in response. You didn't think you would only receive Banjo's quirk now, did you? Danger Sense. It alerts the user of nearby danger. It is a dangerous power, just simply because of the headache drawback. I became a hermit and lived in a forest for that reason alone. Hikage explained. He then held up the grimoire. Just like with Black Whips, you've unlocked a new grimoire to go with my quirk. Izuku looked at him in confusion. Izuku's body began to fade. You must get strong and quickly. This world, and your own, are in peril. The same way you fell into this world, he has shown. You must be prepared to let everything one for all has out. Izuku opened his eyes. He was still in the cave, but the cave had seemingly fell apart. He slowly stood up. Now then Yami then spit out his cigarette. It's been quite a while since I went all out. Mana erupted from Yami, and the entire cave began to shake. Yami leaped towards Licht at an incredible speed. Licht immediately reacted and jumped into the air to dodge it. Multiple light orbs appeared in front of Licht. The beam of light erupted from each of them towards Yami's back. However, Yami immediately reacted as dark magic coated his katana. Dark magic, dark cloaked lightless slash. The slash erupted from his blade. The beams of light were pulled into the dark slash. It immediately destroyed the light orbs. Licht moved to dodge the slash. I knew it. Licht thought to himself. My magic is being drawn in. So this is the power of dark magic. Hey, idiot. You didn't finish that story of yours, did you? Yami called out as he charged at Licht. Let me hear the rest. Yami slashed and slashed at Licht. Licht effortlessly dodged them. What's your real goal here? That grimoire means you're a citizen of the Clover Kingdom, right? So why attack your own country? Yami questioned. You're a foreigner too, Licht started. Haven't you noticed them? The distortions in this country. Some are on the brink or starvation, while others have too much and throw the rest away. People are ranked by how much or little magic they have. Some have great magic, but are discriminated for reasons of birth. Some are hurt in the name of justice, just because they were born in another country. We were born in order. A creepy smile appeared on Licht's face. To correct them, light beams shot at Licht. Yami deflected them. I'm not seeing the point here. Yami stated. Isn't what you're trying to do the same as what those distorted guys do? Are you sane? Perfectly sane. Licht stated with a smile. Let me answer your sins with sin. Licht created his light whip again. Yami got into a sword stance. So no matter what, you'll have your way. I like guys like that. But Yami leaped towards Licht. You I can't stand. Yami, he yelled out as launched several dark magic slashes at Licht's whip. Asta could barely keep watching them. They were so quick. It was on a whole different level. So this is a captain's full power. I have no magic. Even if I train, can I surpass him? Licht, the Wizard King? You know? Suddenly Yami blocked an attack from behind. Master Licht. Valtos suddenly called out. Please let me assist you. Yami suddenly slammed his leg right where Asta was standing. Hey punk, what are you wimping out for? I left the scrawny dude for you to handle. Yami stated. I don't give guys jobs they can't do. Do something. Fight him your way. Yes sir. Asta jumped towards Valtos. Several spatial portals opened up around him. Multiple fireballs rushed at Asta. Asta swung his sword incredible fast, but was unable to hit all of them. One of them hit his leg. URG, one of them got through. I can keep this up forever. Valtos stated. Even more spatial portals appeared around Asta. Several fireballs hit Asta. I don't think I can last until his magic runs out. My legs are just about at their limit. If this keeps up, he'll get me. How do I win this? Asta then remembered Yami's words. Fight him my way. Asta then tossed his swords away. He began to concentrate. You threw away your only weapons? Have you lost your mind? In that case, I'll throw an even bigger one your way. Asta sensed the key of the spatial portal opening up and instantly jumped into it. Valtos's face paled. Asta then gave Valtos an incredible punch to his face, knocking him to the ground again. BWA ha ha ha. Yami started laughing. You just decked him. You really are funny. Asta turned around and rubbed his nose. That's my Izuku style, Asta said with pride. Izuku's sweat dropped at that. Izuku style? Asta just clobbered him in the face. Not that Izuku disagreed with punching him, that's what Izuku would do too. Licht appeared behind Yami. Careless, careless. Licht stated as his light whip launched itself at Yami. Yami's grimoire opened up, and a limitless black hole opened up. That would be you, Yami stated. Licht looked in surprise. His whip went towards the black hole. It absorbed my attack, and I can't move? Dark magic surrounded Yami's blade. Dark magic. Black hole, and then he slashed Licht right down the chest. Dark, cloaked black blade. Licht fell to the ground, bleeding. Captain Yami. Asta yelled out in amazement. Izuku let out a sigh of relief. Captain Yami really was strong. Him and Asta didn't need Izuku's help at all. Licht stood up, Vital fluid flowed down his body. You got me. About 5 meters that black hole's range, right? To think there was a magic that could absorb my attack and stop me from moving. Dark magic is amazing. The one attribute that's the natural enemy of my light magic. Licht said as vital fluid spurted from his mouth. However, dark magic is extremely slow. That's why you used darkness to cloak your blade and created a combat style that used reinforcement magic to compensate. Yami lit up a cigarette. Correct. Yami stated as if he was bragging. By the way, what's up? You can use recovery magic, right? Hurry up and recover. Although, while you're healing yourself, I'll get in close and slice you up even worse. I'll admit. Licht began. You're the second person to have power that could defeat me. Unfortunately, I don't have time to waste on you. Light magic surrounded Licht. I still have one ultimate enemy left. The one who left this unhealable wound on me, that unique individual, the Wizard King, Julius Navachrono. Licht stated. A giant orb of light appeared in front of Licht. Speed, you'll never avoid range that you couldn't hope to escape. The moment I fire this spell, your life will end. Black Bull's captain. The amount of mana that was surrounding Licht was unimaginable. Huh, you're right. Quit underestimating Captain Yami. Asta yelled out. Now I don't like the look of that. Yami stated. Izuku's headache had to agree. Whatever that spell was, danger sense was warning him. If he got hit by it, that was it. One for all flowed through his body. Boy, you two. Return that grimoire. Licht stated before staring at Izuku. And boy, with the multiple grimoires disappear. Yami's face was blank. That's a 4-leaf clover for you. Yami thought to himself. His magical abilities are off the charts. Unless I catch him by surprise, he'll just dodge all of my attacks at light speed. What to do? I guess I'll just leave that to the me 5 seconds from now. Izuku realized Yami had no move that could stop Licht's attack. Izuku suddenly dashed towards Licht. At the very least, Izuku could slow Licht's attack down. Kid, what are you doing? Yami yelled out. Izuku ignored him and jumped into the air. This guy was the leader of the terrorist group. If Izuku could take him out now. Izuku cocked his left arm back as One for All increased power on it. Black whips wrapped his left arm. He had to do whatever it took. One for All, 50%. It wouldn't break his arm, but it wouldn't exactly feel good either. Licht noticed Izuku and moved out of the way. Izuku just let out a smile. I can't exactly hit this guy at light speed now, can I? Izuku had quickly realized danger sense was able to detect levels of mana. Izuku quickly punched off of the air towards where danger sense was warning him of most. Licht's eyes widened as Izuku was suddenly in front of him. But even so, Izuku thought to himself as Licht was about to move at light speed once again. A black grimoire appeared in front of Izuku. The black whips began to erupt from Izuku's arms. You're too fast to hit normally. Black whips suddenly surrounded Licht, closing in on him. Black whips, birdcage. The whips closed off all forms of escape other than spatial portals. Licht had nowhere to go but to Izuku. Izuku cocked his arm back. 50% Detroit smash. Izuku yelled out as slammed his fist into the giant orb of light. He felt the bones in his arm shake, along with most of his body, but that was fine. He just needed to stop this spell. Izuku's smash blew up the cave. Even more, there was barely anything left. Izuku fell to the ground and held his arm in pain. Both Yami and Asta's widened. Izuku had that much power? They noticed he held his arm in pain. Was it too much power for his current body to handle? Izuku, you did it. Amazing, came a voice from above as Licht began to laugh. I've never seen magic like that, not even from where I'm from. Izuku gritted his teeth. Behind Licht was a spatial portal, and right next to it was Valtos with a slight grin. That's what you get, green-haired brat. Valtos said before falling to the ground completely out of mana. You green-haired boy who keeps interfering, everything I do I want you dead. Licht yelled out as the orb of light suddenly surrounded Licht like a sun. A unknown boy like you who can generate enough physical stuff and destroy caves with ease cannot be allowed to stay alive. Asta jumped in front of Izuku. Don't worry, Izuku. I'll protect you. Asta yelled out. Oh yeah, how will you do that? Yami asked. I'll hit it back. The sword will be all that's left of you. Yami stated. Then what should we do, Captain Yami? Asta frantically asked. Not give up until the end? Isn't that what we've been doing? Licht's eyes narrowed in anticipation. Farewell, Black Bulls. Licht stated as his spell was complete. Suddenly, a spatial portal opened behind Yami, and company Gauche and Finral jumped out. "What would all's this?" Finral asked. He then saw the giant sun of light that was about to launch itself at Yami. A mirror appeared in front of Gauche. The orb of light shot out an enormous beam or light, rivaling the size of a small house. At the exact moment it was fired off, Gauche appeared in front of Yami. His mirror right in front of him as mana erupted from his mirror eye. The mirror suddenly enlarged itself to mirror the size of the beam. Mirror magic, full reflection. The beam of light hit the mirror, only to be reflected and sent flying back at Licht. It was moving at light speed, so there was no way Licht could dodge it. It blasted Licht, destroying the rest of the cave. No matter how big or strong it is, Gauche stated. Mirrors reflect light. So, this was the end of part 3 of this series. Stay tuned for next part of this series, and if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Until next time.